beautiful 3.7 kilometer layout here at Curitiba, Brazil. And we have already 3 cars out that couldn't quite make it onto the track.
Yeah, that's some interesting stories. Carlos Canzonetta, who qualified last in B class, is out with electrical problems. David Mafato, mechanical problems. And that's a big story because Mafato is in a battle for second in the championship in Class B. Mafato will be in Class B in 1996.
Here's the front row for Furlan and Paese, the contenders all year, followed by Bartelli and Cordova, and all Brazilian second row Brazilians hope to do well in their home race. Risati and Pitoli, they switched sides, had identical times, but Risati qualified first. Moro, the newcomer, and Ventre on row 4. Filiberti and Stefan, not Stefani, remember, he's changed his name. Filiberti hoping to do well and crack the podium. Silva with his first win, and Junqueira with a difficult season with a new team, his own. On row 7, we have Henry Martin, second in Buenos Aires, Malta, struggling this season as a driver-owner. Row 8, Andrade, a newcomer, and Ledesma, a difficult season for him as well, with actual personal tragedy involved. Martin Basso from Argentina, a man who hopes to be in the Furlan team, and Carlos Dinella. Costa, the Peruvian, the first Peruvian, Jose Costa, and David Mufato, who's had trouble. He probably won't be seen on the track today. Gabriel Werner, what a race he had in Buenos Aires. And Luis Donizetti, the 39-year-old Brazilian on row 11. Oscar Dufour, the second Peruvian. And Carlos Canzonetta, again, not in the grid.
We're also getting word that Juan Manuel Silva will not start this last race of the season. There you see, look at the lights. We're going to get ready to go racing for 27 laps in Formula 3. Furlan on the pole.
Red's on, the green's on, they're off, and Furlan's a little bit slow on the
Terrible
outtake.
start. Watch for Filiberti to get down Paese on the inside of turn 1. A bad start, and a big wreck. Filiberti is out in front. He had to come around Furlan. That's Paese in second, but who was involved in that wreck in the back?
Unbelievable wreck. A wheel went flying. There's Risati in third. I believe that's Bartelli in first place on the Ryder car. Bartelli followed by Paese. And Furlan really is 7th at this point. An unbelievably slow start for Paese. He had another slow start in Buenos Aires.
Furlan had a terrible start. Paese, not a good start. You're right. I missaid that was Filiberti. Bartelli said yesterday that his big thing was to get ahead of Paese at the start because he wants to get second in the championship.
Somebody was clipped, and I believe that's Douglas Pitoli in the Wheaton car. The Cesario team continues to have trouble, and that's really very, very sad. That's the team that won the championship, and already we see Bartelli slipping and sliding on that turn.
So Bartelli with a great start coming from behind Furlan, getting around Furlan and beating Paese into the first turn. He leads over Sergio Paese right now. This is a battle for second in the championship.
In third place, you see the red car of Jose Cordova. Paese, remember, he's got the talent. He's very quick, and he sees on the inside, he's losing it. As I told you earlier, Fred Bartelli's losing his grip.
Well, he went way, way wide there and got out on the marbles and lost his grip. The big story here this weekend is he loses that position there. The BPR cars have raced here this weekend. And this morning, these guys warmed up at 8 o'clock, and then there was a 3-hour BPR race. Well, the surface has totally changed here, and here's a replay of the start.
He just moved over. There was no place to go, and he clipped Risati, I believe, hit him.
And then that wheel, I believe, broke a wing on someone else's car, but then it bounces out towards a non-dangerous area and comes to a stop.
There's no place to go, no space on the inside in that straightaway.
Now Bartelli comes back at Cordova and picks up the position again. But we just mentioned that BPR race, they threw a lot of rubber down, of course. Nelson Piquet won that race in the McLaren Formula 1.
With Johnny Sokoto as his co-driver.
Yeah, it was a great drive for those guys. But of course that has totally changed the track surface here. Now Bartelli goes out wide again.
Tremendous fight. Look on the inside, there's Marcelo Ventre making a move, trying to overtake Risati. Paese first, and another huge spin for Fabio Malta. Remember, if you leave this track, it's so wet, the grass is so wet, it'll be very difficult for you to get back on it. As we see the front runners at this point, and Furlan is about 9th at this point.
Well, Furlan, of course, has won the championship. He's only finished off the podium 3 times this year. His worst result, of course, coming last week, or the last race at Buenos Aires, where he finished in 17th.
But don't underestimate his wish to set a record today.
Look at this, they're 4 wide coming into turn 1 behind this lead pack. And that is for a position. So it's Bartelli, Cordova, and then the battle behind them with Marcelo Ventre. And now we have Juliano Moro spinning in his debut in the Formula 3 series. Had a great qualifying run. And this is a good battle here between
Ventre and Rizzati. Rizzati making his last F3 start. According to what he said to us all along this year, he will be going to touring car. Ventre is in 4th, and Rizzati is in 5th at this point.
Jose Cordova there, you see in the number 11 Ducati car, the red one in front of the two yellow and white ones. He was listed to race in that BPR event, but I spoke to him yesterday and he decided not to. He opted not to race in it. Just too busy, too much time, and wanted to really get a good result in his final Formula 3 race of this year. All sorts of talk about what he will do next year. He may go into the Indy Light Series. He says he has a deal in the Atlantics. Now we have another spinner, the number 18 of Luis Donizetti in the Route 34 Honda Class B. Good new paint job on that car too.
Unbelievable.
Just on Cordova again, he is going to be racing probably with the Kevin Durant Ferrari team with the Daytona 24 Hours, where he used to live for a couple of years. And he said he will announce soon whether he goes to Atlantic, Indy Lights, or maybe even to Europe, or he may just stay right here. So a lot of options open to Jose Cordova at this point. People are really catching on to this South American Formula 3 series, picking up these drivers. Of course, Christian Fittipaldi won one of the races here at this track before moving on to Indy cars.
We have a
of course, Formula 1.
And Guy, we have a very tight train here between the 3rd and 5th place drivers. Cordova in the red. In the middle, you see Ventre, and then you followed by Rizzati. This is 3, 4, and 5. Very tightly bunched. And on the outside comes Ventre, but there's really no way to go. You got to be careful here. If you leave the line, there you go. He makes a move, and Cordova just loses grip again.
Ventre has to be careful, of course, because, and there we have the 41.
Jose Costa.
Serious damage to the front.
And that is terrible. He's the best performing Peruvian in the series, and he really has just lost control.
It seems to be going the wrong way as well. He went back onto the track the wrong way, and I think he was going to try and whip it around, but he's got serious damage to the front wing. He's going to be out of this race.
Well, remember Cordova
yeah, where he ran with a broken wing, held everybody up for a while.
Brasilia? That was unbelievable. He did it for about 15 laps.
Big crowd on hand for this race here today, obviously with the help of the BPR, big international field. A lot of these guys, obviously, this is a race to put on a show because a lot of the BPR teams and international people are here to see how these guys are doing and watching them carefully. Nelson Piquet, of course, has got not his godson, but someone he considers his godson running in this race. And they're doing, and in fact, he's wearing a Nelson Piquet jumpsuit. That's Juliano Moro, who we saw spin just a moment ago. He just won the Brazilian Formula 4 Championship and is also the Pan American go-kart champion. Good friends with Nelson. His father makes go-kart chassis, and I guess he's going to go into business with Nelson Piquet.
19 years of age, Juliano Moro. We'll hear more of him, but of course he's had that spin already in this race. We hear that at this point it's been confirmed Gabriel Forlan is in 9th place and moving up. Now, how much can he move up will be interesting to see. Grip apparently a problem in this track.
Well, certainly. Bartelli yesterday said that he didn't think the grip and track surface change was much of a problem. However, Jose Cordova said exactly the opposite. He said it was terrible once the BPR cars had been out. They had a big field of cars, lots of different rubber being laid down by them, and that was, like I say, their warm-up was 8 o'clock, and it was a 3-hour race, so you know they laid down a lot of rubber on this track.
The BPR cars are...
Well, we saw Bartelli get offline earlier, and the move go by, with Cordova, he got the position back.
Rizzati, that blue, yellow, and white car, is in 4th place at this point. Ricardo Rizzati, this has been a good year for him at Piriapolis. He ran his 100th Formula 3 race. There was a big party held for him. He did fairly well in that race. He's had some good results for a man that really hasn't won an F3 race in his career. He's had a fine year this year, and apparently might be his last in Formula 3, I should add.
Yeah, there's other options, of course, the Tin Tops, Formula Chevrolet, the Formula Mazda, Formula Ford series racing down here. This series looking to expand in 1997, may race in Mexico a couple of races, they may have a race in Peru. They're looking to make, there you see Gabriel Forlan coming into the picture, our 1996 champion. 6 wins so far this year, 3 coming from the pole, started on the pole today. And his team, Sudan YPF Formula 3 team, the second car, they have announced this weekend that they've done a deal and signed young Nicholas Filiberti for 1997. So that's the big story. Filiberti obviously thrilled at that. he's had some great results, Filiberti, towards the end of the series. Middle season wasn't good, and the beginning of the season wasn't good, but he's really come on strong.
And that's really a blow to the Eni team, who was developing Filiberti, the Eni team, the winningest team in Formula 3 history. Now loses their best driver, most talented driver, to really the best equipped and best financed team, which is this team, the YPF team, Gabriel Furlan's team. Henry Martin, of course, will be leaving the team at the end of the season. He had a great run in Buenos Aires, really basically a swan song in Formula 3. And now he's just working his way up the field.
There is Filiberti in the back of this pack here, the blue car in the back. As Tom Stefan in front of him, and I believe the number 7 entry of Bruno Junqueira right in front of Filiberti.
No, that's Fabian Malta, actually, the white car. Fabian Malta is back on track, perhaps losing a lap, but he's back on track, keeping up with the rest of the field.
And that's Ledesma, or someone else going off in the back, kicking up a lot of dust. That's Ledesma in front of these guys in the Tom's Toyota. His teammate Silva had mechanical problems right before the race and did not make the start.
Quite disappointing for Juan Manuel Silva, who also at some point was considered and rumored to be a potential teammate next year for Gabriel Furlan.
Here's our leader, Pedro Bartelli, the number 1 blue car coming by with Ventre behind him. Pardon me, Paese goes out in front. Bartelli in that battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Paese stretching his lead at this point.
Paese really has had trouble, Guy, in overtaking drivers or keeping the lead. I mean, he just gets a bit nervous and a bit jumpy and overly aggressive in either situation.
There he won from the pole in Londrina, ended up 2nd in Brasilia after a good battle there, and then 2nd again in Rio Cuatro after starting from the pole. A little bit of get together there. And you're right, he's certainly, once he's out in front, has problems keeping the lead, although right now, obviously not having any problem whatsoever.
When he stretches out on a lead like that, he's very difficult to catch up, and we have another car out. This time, it's Carlos Dinella.
He is the 35-year-old Argentinian running in the Guarini team with the sponsorship of the racing school, Drivers Racing School. Best result was 2nd at Buenos Aires earlier the last race.
And he's making his first Class A start as we see Paese stretch away. Interesting situation for Paese next year. He's mentioned that his big problem, obviously, is getting to tracks he doesn't know about and trying to get a good qualifying effort to allow him to win. He arrived here in Curitiba, a track he knows a bit of, and already lined up on the front row. It'll be interesting to see if Paese can be consistent next year, because Furlan said that this track would be a lot, this season would have been a lot more difficult for him had every driver contending along with him finished every race.
It would be an interesting scenario for him next year, certainly coming up. And he's been quick, but as you say, going to new tracks, learning the car. I think next year will be an excellent one for Sergio Paese. That flag we saw, looks like they were giving a black flag to Silva, who we didn't think had started, but I guess he must have made a start, but he's out there, but he's obviously dropping oil or something, and so they are black flagging Juan Pato Silva, who came away with a victory at Buenos Aires in our last round in November. Long season, March through December.
An unexpected one for him, but he'll take it nonetheless after Ledesma had those 10 seconds at it and dropped him from 1st to 3rd.
Now, while these guys continue to race in December, of course, December pretty much known as a month of testing for all forms of racing. Formula 3000, Formula 3, Formula 1, IndyCar. Pedro Bartelli is scheduled to go over to England after this race next couple of weeks, and will do a test for the Supernova Formula 3000 team in England, and also for the Draco team in England shortly, because testing in England in December is normally pretty unsuccessful because of the weather. But he said it's really just to go and do the test. It's not necessarily looking for a drive in Formula 3000. It's just the opportunity to test the cars and see how well he performs in them.
Well, the beauty of being in the Southern Hemisphere at this latitude, Guy, is that you can practice year-round. Right now, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter. It is the start of summer here in the Southern Hemisphere. And as we see another tremendous crunch now.
Coming up on the Class B guys and going by them. As you see, Cordova's gone from his picture. He's gone into the pits.
He was so loose at the start of the race.
This is 2nd and 3rd. They're coming up on the Volnick's car that spun earlier with the new paint job for Carlos Dinella. Pardon me, not Carlos Dinella, that's
Luis Donizetti.
Luis Donizetti, yeah.
Brazilian. As they start taking overtaking the Class B. Apparently Cordova has an engine problem that he's looking after, and that typically is very bad news. As a matter of fact, it's believed he will be out of the race for the rest of the race.
Disappointing run for him. A lot of these guys having engine problems suddenly in this last round.
Oh,
a big
a tremendous crash.
That looks like Ledesma.
It is Ledesma, indeed. But he's moving in the cockpit, although he's in the middle of the track. Better be careful now, Christian.
You'll notice that no one is slowing down when they go by him. I would wait until everybody's gone by before I even attempted to get out of that.
Now he looks back behind him, and he's looking for a good time to evacuate. As he does that now, luckily he's in fine shape.
Oh, now
and
Furlan
is in the gravel pit, and I
trying
believe...
to keep it going. Look, he's trying to keep it going. He's got a clutch in, and he tried to keep the motion going so he didn't get stuck in the gravel trap. Now he's got it in gear. Those gravel traps, they're great, obviously, for stopping the car, but it can take you out of the race. We saw him do this, and there you see the demolished car of Ledesma.
Probably the most violent crash we've seen all season.
Well, because had a terrible one with Pedro Mufato earlier this year. The good news is Pedro Mufato is actually here this week after spending 15 days in a coma. He has ribs still broken, left leg damage, but he claims he's about 50% healthy right now, still looking to go back to racing in 1997. And as an honor, they will let him present the trophies here today at the end of the race. Ledesma, as you saw, uninjured in that incident. Let's take a look. He gets wide. There you see the back end goes out on the grass. Big tire barrier here because of the BPR cars. That rips the wing off, and that's what bounces and throws him back out into the track. The whole back end's just destroyed. The front end's pretty much destroyed. But you can see it wasn't really major hard contact. It was basically hitting those tire barriers, and that threw him out. There's Furlan going by. So Furlan got by this incident, but obviously went wide on the next turn, and that's where he went off. May have picked up some debris.
We're taking a break right now. After 9 of 27 laps, Ledesma is out of the race. This year of Formula 3, we see the yellow flag.
Yellow flag and a pace car, and a nice pace car at that, the BMW 850, being piloted, we believe, by Nelson Piquet this weekend. Of course, Piquet won in the McLaren BMW in the BPR. Here's a look at the top 5 now, with Paesi out in front, Bartelli second, Ventre, Rosati, and then Junqueira has worked his way at the 5th, due to a few guys going out. But those guys all involved in the battle for second in the championship. There you see the yellow flag being displayed. They're cleaning up the mess of the Christian Ledesma wreck. There's the Tom's Toyota. The whole back end, the suspension, gearbox all damaged, and the front end. And here's a look at it again. There you see he just gets wide, disappears out the picture, and comes back in because he makes big contact with the tires there, which pushes him back out the track. Here's Furlan coming around the corner to avoid the wreck. Once again, here it is. Look, great camera work there. Look down on the Tom's Toyota. Ledesma's, it looked a lot worse than it was. There wasn't really head-on contact. Caught them nicely, but it threw the car back out into the middle of the track. Furlan had to make a big move to avoid it, and then we're guessing as a result of that, Furlan went off at the end of the straightaway. He must have picked up some debris on the tires or something.
And I believe they're just going to have to drag this car out.
And Ledesma is fine. He's okay. He jumped out of the car and walked off. He's not injured, which is good news.
But Furlan is pretty much far back in the field. Juan Manuel Silva is out. The Argentinians are not doing well here. The Brazilians are having a ball.
Certainly are.
We'll be back to the Autódromo Internacional de Curitiba, hopefully back to racing when we come back. He's enjoying his Sunday ride in that brand new BMW, but I'm sure he'd like to get out. He's been a driver before. He wants to let the other young guys race.
It looks like they're going to go back to racing too, as the BMW looks like it's set to pull off. There you see the rest of Ledesma's car. Let's take a look and see exactly who is out of this race. David Mafado did not start, nor did Carlos Canzonetta. Well, Silva did start, but then got black flag for dangerous driving. Pitoli and Jose Cordova out with engine problems. And now Christian Ledesma out. And we're getting ready to restart. We're looking for 27 laps here at the Autódromo Internacional de Curitiba.
And there you see the flag that restarts this race as they go through the main straightaway in this 3.7-kilometer track.
Getting up to about 225 kilometers an hour here into a tight right-hander, down to second gear, 100 kilometers per hour. There you see the fields widening out in the back, looking for positions. They come down into turn 1.
Malta, Martin, and Stefan.
All involved there. There is Silva. So he is back in the race, despite the fact that we had him listed out of the race. He is back out there, despite the fact he had engine problems and the fact he was black flagged, but he is back out there.
And you won't see the YPF blue, white, and yellow trim car of Gabriel Furlan any longer in this race. His season is over.
I think he rejoined. I think Furlan rejoined. But Paese out front now, the Brazilians enjoying a hometown domination here. And behind Paese is Bartelli and then Ventre. Working their way into one of the two left-handers here.
And there's the Jose Costa car. He had that front suspension damage, but he still somehow is in the race. That front wing, you can see it right here in the back of that track. As you see, Junqueira also having a great race.
Paese over the line to complete that lap. Down the main straightaway in 5th gear. Once again, into turn 1. Got a nice gap between himself and Pedro Bartelli. A great restart for Paese on that yellow flag. We don't see these guys bring out the caution car often. Certainly something they're learning is the restarts from a yellow. A lot of damage there to the front wing of the 41 car, the B class. There's a battle in B class for the championship. Has been won by Zanarotto.
Stefan is very, very slow.
Yes,
he was involved in contact in that turn a lap ago. And since then, he's been very, very slow. As you see Costa with that upturn front left wing. And Malta being now hotly pursued by Henry Martin for position.
Malta blocking there a little bit. Martin comes down the inside, can't make the move.
It was Stefan who was caught up between Malta and Martin and actually received contact from both.
And now he's dropped back. There you see Malta and Martin again. Good battle going on.
Costa's got to let them through. Eventually he does. Just not in the same class. And there you see Silva, I believe, back up there. Yes, that's indeed Juan Manuel Pato Silva, who had trouble starting, eventually rejoined the race with black flag. He's back out onto the track. The 99 car, JVC Esco Orange Crush. He's a real fighter.
This is Malta and Martin in a good battle. And then Silva getting back in there, even though, like I mentioned, the black flag for dangerous driving, the oil, and the fact that we didn't think he even started.
And Stefan is back up to speed, and now he wants to overtake the Tom's Toyota. And apparently he does, on the inside.
Well, we'll see as they come into turn 1. It looks like he's just got ahead of him. On the inside, under braking. Stefan, can he make the position stick? It looks like he has been able to.
That's a very small chicane there that typically kicks up dust. It's a very dangerous spot in the track.
This is a big long straightaway here again, up to 212 kilometers per hour in 5th gear, and then down to a right-hander in 3rd, a long sweeping right-hander, up to 4th gear, and then back into a 2nd gear turn. As the field comes by, Sergio Paese, our leader, has been from basically once he got by Bartelli on about the 2nd lap, has been out front and has not had any problems and has got a fairly healthy gap between himself and Pedro Bartelli running in 2nd. Now if Paese would win this race, obviously he would clinch 2nd in the championship. Bartelli at the moment would end up 3rd in the championship, Ventre 4th, and then Silva 5th. Junqueira trying to spoil that a bit, but really Bartelli needs to get up past Paese to get 2nd in the championship. In the Class B championship, as we just started to mention, Zanarotto has already won that, and the battle was going to be between Werner and Mafato. Well, David Mafato did not start, so Werner will finish 2nd in the Class B championship.
Stefan, then Malta in the white car, then the orange, red, white trim car of Juan Manuel Pato Silva as they go through the chicane.
Malta's lost a couple of positions. He's lost a position to Stefan and Martin, so he's dropping back a little bit. And now Silva's going to try and get by him.
And there's Costa going by with a damaged front wing. So Costa making his 2nd race in Class B in this championship. And this is Martin Basso in his Alara Fiat. He is...
oh, there's Tom Stefani off the track at the back of the picture there.
Spun out.
Basso, I believe, is our Class B leader, which is why we're following. There you see Stefan slip it around.
And you can't see a thing.
He gets back out on the track, kicked up a lot of dust and dirt.
As a matter of fact, there's so much on his car, it stopped being totally black. It's a little bit, it's dusty, that car. See that dust kicked up in that area.
Martin Basso, our Class B leader, I believe.
Indeed, and Basso was trying to get that extra seat in the YPF team next year. It'll be interesting to see his the old Gabriel Furlan GF team as was revived for Basso in the last couple of races. It'll be interesting to see if that will be the case next year. Oh, somebody went way off, and that's Costa.
Didn't make contact with the tyres. That is Costa with the front damage on the wing. Obviously got no downforce there, and that is why he was unable to control the car and go out and went wide. Here's our Class A and overall leader, Sergio Paesi. Bartelli in second. There's certainly been a good mix-up between Stefan, Silva, Martin and Malta, and that's all changed around again now, and then Stefan has spun off. So the positions, he lost a bunch of positions. He picked up about 3 and now has lost them all again.
And now Bartelli, that blue car in second place, has stretched out his lead over Risati in third.
Yeah,
so the first 3 positions are quite well defined at this point.
A comfortable cushion between himself and third place. As I mentioned, he's looking forward to going over to Europe and testing a Formula 3000 car for Supernova and the Draco teams.
Looking back, you see the gap between the first and the second, which is the blue car, and then the second and the third. Then the third place car of Riccardo Risati is being pursued by Bruno Junqueira, who's in fourth.
Junqueira's worked his way up to 4.
Oh, he loses it.
Joe, every time we start to talk about one of these guys.
Oh, watch out. He's going to come in right into the line. Careful now. So, Venter just slipped by and avoided contact, and the rest of the cars go by. And let's see if he gets caught. Yes, the rear wheel just got caught. He's done.
Junqueira was trying to make a move from position, of course, to boost himself up into championship. He was in 4th, and now he's lost a lot of positions. That's going to kill any hopes he has of finishing 2nd in the championship.
And that, indeed, Guy Hobbs, has been the story of Bruno Junqueira's season. Added, of course, to the fact that he splintered off from the Amir
Nasser team. And now our
team.
leader, Sergio Paesi, is off. Here comes Bartelli in second place.
Oh, he tries to block him. He can't. And so, in first place, we see Pedro Bartelli from the Cesario team.
Well, Alvaro, you said it. Paesi's had trouble holding on to leads every race this year. Every time he's led, he's either had contact or just lost of concentration. And there we see the same thing happen. Good call on your half. Bartelli has picked up the lead, and this will change the championship for second position.
Unbelievable, as we also were told that Stefani is out of the race.
Stefani we saw go off. We saw Stefani go off. Here is a replay. This is the one involving Junqueira trying to go down the inside, locking it up and going off in turn 1. We're not sure if he was able to continue, because you'll see he gets hung up on the curbing as he goes by. Ventre goes by, and the rest of the field's going to come by any second now, safely and cleanly. We think Junqueira got hung up there. Maybe the marshals were able to clean. There you see him now, still stuck there. So that was wiped out any possibility of him coming second in the championship. In the meantime, the field continues to go by, and immediately following this, Sergio Paesi went off, and Bartelli picked up the lead. Bartelli could get second place in the championship. What he needs, though, is for Paesi to go back 1 more position.
Who would have thought that this race would have been a race of attrition, as we have 7 laps to go? This is one of the best maintained tracks in the entire Formula 3 season. It's a beautiful one, and Risati goes off course. He was in 3rd. It seems like everybody has to go off course once.
At least once. At least once. I think it must be a mandatory drivers meeting thing. Paesi is closing up the gap quickly, though. There you see him back in the picture already. You can see as we go around these turns, you can see all the rubber and the dust that's been kicked up and laid down. And with that spin, Paesi amazingly has caught right back up.
And Risati is still in 3rd, right behind Paesi.
Juliano Moro having a great run up in 6th position. Paesi coming up on Bartelli. Bartelli, he hovered there, looked like he was losing ground, but as you pointed out, the Paesi unable to hang on to leads and wins. You can see all the debris there on the track, a lot of the BPR rubber from the race earlier this morning.
That has to be the key. I mean, the track is a beautiful one. It's wide, it's beautiful, great passing lanes, but 2 things, the rain over the weekend and then the rubber laid down by the BPR cars, making this race quite interesting, surprisingly so.
Well, the whole reason Bartelli was in second is because he went off early, went wide early and got out on the marbles. Now he's back out in front. The other thing is, a lot of these guys have been off the road. We saw Furlan go off. We've seen Paesi go off, we've seen Junqueras, Stefan, and of course when they rejoin, they bring a bunch of dust and dirt and gravel with them, and that gets laid down out on the track too.
And of course, let's not talk about the debris from the opening, the accident at the start, then Jose Costa's incident and Christian Ledesma incident right around there, where the number 3 car, Marcelo Ventre, pulled over. Oh, Juliano Moro is in the lead, and another spin, I believe.
Gabriel Werner, is it?
This is Warner, yes.
Class B. Oh no, pardon me. That's
Oscar Dufour.
The lookalike, the Peruvian, Delara Fiat with their Pantel Cristal sponsorship for the 24-year-old. Here's a look at Juliano Moro. He's wearing Nelson Piquet's old fire suit, considers himself Piquet's godson, and in front of his, his mentor Piquet having a great run here. He's in 6th position right now. Here's the battle for the lead, Bartelli and Paesi.
Overtaking the Class B cars. That's Donizetti they overtook. On the outside comes Paesi. There's no space. Oh, he locks the front left. And he moves over, still locks him up, and he's still in the lead. Could be a case of the...
this is going to be a great finish.
Tortoise and the hare. I mean, Bartelli very conservative.
Paesi's obviously got the stronger car. Maybe his tires are held out better. Better setup, maybe a stiffer car, maybe better downforce. He's made... Oh, that's a bold move going from there. Looking down the inside, a very quick right-hand turn.
But by being overly aggressive, he's gotten into trouble in the past. Again, whether in the front or catching up.
Now looking for the toe down the main straightaway as they go into the tight right-hander. Long straightaway here. Will he pull out and have a go this time? No, doesn't look like it.
He doesn't want to go in there.
There you can see, if you get off the line down the inside there, you're right on the marbles too. Doesn't want to get out of line there.
But he actually had entertained thoughts of doing that. That's why Paesi has had that difficult season. He's had 4 finishes in 2nd or 1st place this year, but also he has finished out of the points 4 times, and that's what Furlan was referring to. If Paesi had consistently gotten 5th, 6th place points in the race, we would have had a very tight championship being decided all the way in this last race in Curitiba.
Right, and Paesi kind of took himself out of the running for the championship. Furlan run faultlessly. He's only finished off the... Oh, there goes Paesi. Bartelli missed a gear or has a mechanical. It looked like he missed a gear coming out of the turn, went wide. Paesi went by, so does Ventre. That eliminates Bartelli there. Now he's found a gear, obviously having gearbox problem. Maybe that's why Paesi was able to make up the ground so quickly. He may have lost a gear, Bartelli, earlier on, and then now he's trying to find a gear coming out of the corner. Let's take a look at that again of Pedro Bartelli. Remember, this is the big battle for 2nd in the championship. Paesi has now regained the lead. Here it is, going into the left-hander. Bartelli's a little wide anyway. Paesi goes down the inside, and there you see, Bartelli's got nothing to respond with. And here he's just coasting along, stays out wide. He's trying to find a gear. Finally, he gets a gear and gets going. Obviously, gearbox troubles there. Paesi now leader for the 2nd time today. We've had 2 different leaders, Bartelli and Paesi. Both have led twice.
So Paesi is once again on the lead. What a wild race. 3 laps to go, but believe me, this one's not over yet. Paesi went off by himself, by his lonesome, with a huge lead.
Oh,
he goes again! Oh my!
He's gone off again. That's twice today.
This time he's backwards.
Now Ventre gets the lead. He goes by. Here, any moment now, Bartelli should be coming around. Unbelievably, Bartelli has not made it around, and Paesi is continued in 2nd.
Does anybody want to win this race? Riccardo Rissati.
Was that Ventre or...?
No, I think it's Rissati. Going off into the lead. What a wild race.
Wow, Rissati. So he must have got by Ventre in the background earlier, and now he becomes our leader. Here's Paesi again, goes wide, gets in the marbles. Amazingly, he doesn't get in contact with the tires. Look at all that dirt and dust being kicked up. Keeps it going, spins it back around, gets back out on the track. And unbelievably, there you see Rosati going by to take the lead. Bartelli must have struggled and dropped way back now because he wasn't able to pick up that position. Now we see smoke in front of
Rosati. Not Rosati, in front of him.
Right, I thought it was a spinning car in front of him maybe.
This would be simply unbelievable.
His last race of the year, yeah?
Yes, and his last race of the his F3 career, and he puts his hand up saying, I can't believe. Oh no. Does he have trouble?
He's got trouble.
Oh, he's slowing down.
I tell you, Alvaro, it's kiss of death today. Every time he mentions somebody, Or point
look at his
something
put
out.
his hands on his helmet saying, I can't believe I've never won a single Formula 3 race. I'm 2 laps away from my first ever win in my last Formula 3 race, and I am out of this race. I cannot believe that's exactly what Riccardo Rissati is thinking right now.
His 2 best finishes this year have been 4th. His last race in his Formula 3 career for a 38-year-old inherits the lead and then immediately gets a mechanical problem. What a day for him. What an amazing race we're having. We've had Paesi go off twice. I believe he's re-inherited the lead again now, and Nef Ventre was able to stay up there with him. And it looks like Ventre was. So Ventre is our leader. Marcelo Ventre, number 3. Paesi is in 2nd. In the meantime, this has got to have helped Juliano Moro. And there you see a very distraught Riccardo Rissati.
Moro is 3rd.
Moro is 3rd in front of Nelson Piquet, his mentor. This is a great day for him. And then in 4th, I believe we do see Pedro Bartelli, who we think has got some kind of gearbox trouble. So these 4 running up front right now. Paesi will maintain 2nd in the championship on the last lap. I don't want to say anything about Ventre, or else something will go wrong.
And Costa's in front of them.
This could be interesting.
Costa's going to pull over to the side, let him through. There you see Rissati still in the car. Can't believe his luck.
Ventre gets by, Paesi gets by, Juliano Moro goes down the inside. Ventre, this will be his first win.
Oh, he stepped on the marbles again.
I don't like to say it'll be his first win, because he finished 2nd at Londrina earlier this year. That was his best result. He was 4th at Goiânia. And he finished in 3rd. Oh no, off Ventre and Paesi. Ventre pulls back in the line.
But I think it's Bartelli's in the lead.
Bartelli gets the lead.
This is unbelievable.
No, Juliano Moro must be in there.
What a wild race. There's Moro in the lead,
Moro's
the 0 car.
In his debut, Bartelli 2nd. Every time we get a new leader, we look up some stats on the guy and they drop out or have a problem.
It must be the suit. It must be the suit. As he approaches the checkered flag, Juliano Moro, 19-year-old, first F3 race. It's a win.
Unbelievable. A win for Moro, 2nd for Bartelli, and that will help him in the Class B championship. Moro, who had a great qualifying run and a great practice, but started today's race all the way back.
There's his team, the Amir Nasser team, celebrating a win. And what a win it's been. You see that blue jumpsuit? That used to belong to Nelson Piquet.
He started in 7th position today. Hung in there, dropped back a bit, with Ferland going out, Ledesma going out, Silva with his problems, Cordova going out with an engine problem, and then the battles up front between Paesi, Ventre and Bartelli. Juliano Moro was able to get the win, and here's our Class B winner, the number 27 of Martin Basso, also his first Formula 3 win in only his 2nd race.
Very impressive what he's done. Martin Basso has impressed throughout, and I believe he will have a race. There's Riccardo Rissati. He couldn't believe his luck, both good and bad today. This is going to be one he's going to have to remember and live with for a long, long time.
His last race in his Formula 3 career, had never won a race, was looking to get a win with a couple of laps to go, and then he had a mechanical problem. That gave Paesi and Bartelli and Ventre the lead again, but then Ventre and Paesi got mixed up. Juliano Moro was able to go through and pick up the Class A win in his debut Formula 3 race.
And Furlan, of course, unable.
Now we've got someone spinning off on the cool down.
That's Costa. As we see Rissati hitching a ride with Carlos Dinella. Dinella in his first Class A start. Finishing back in the pack, although back in the pack here with all the attrition is really up close to the front. Juliano Moro, his first win in his first F3 race. Everybody's been scratching their heads at this season finale of the South American Formula 3 Championship.
Well, an unbelievable race, Alvaro, and it just shows you what exciting racing we have in the South American Formula 3 Championship. And the great news is we have, of course, live coverage for you coming in 1997 on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Here's a look at what happened right towards the end. Ventre is leading at this point, Paesi in 2nd. Paesi makes contact with him, knocks off the top half and front part of his wing. That's Moro in 3rd in the background. Then under this battle it keeps going, and Paesi and Ventre make more contact. They both go off wide, and Moro comes through underneath, staying on the track, and picks up second and third and first position. Then Ventre rejoins and tries to block Bartelli here. Paese drops back to fourth position. However, and Nicholas Filiberti comes from nowhere.
Moro, Bartelli, Ventre, Paese, and Filiberti. Almost a Brazilian sweep here at Curitiba. Back at Curitiba, Brazil, we've had a wild season finale. We've got 2 first-time winners.
Unbelievable. Class B winner is Martin Basso. Class A winner, Juliano Moro. First race for him of the year, the last race of the season. He's 19, he's from Brazil. He raced for the Emir Nasser team. Nelson Piquet, his mentor here, and he comes away with the win. Unbelievable.
5 through 10, Martin finished 6th. Silva actually came back and finished 7th without being able to start this race. Malta, Andrade, a newcomer, and Basso, Dinella, Werner, Junqueira, Risati, and Zarirato in Class A. As you see the rest of the field, the unofficial results so far, with 3 cars not starting, but Silva joining the field after all and finishing 7th. Furlan, of course, out of the race.
Furlan went off after the Desmond crash. Unbelievable. The championship means Paese hangs on to second in the championship. Bartelli is third. And there we see a look at the points. Ventre ends up 4th at 82, and Silva in 5th. Junqueira out of the points today.
What a gutty finish and a race for Juan Manuel Pato Silva. The light blue suit that Nelson Piquet used to wear is now the proud possession of Juliano Moro, a 19-year-old from Brazil.
Great run for him. He's going to celebrate in style, I'm sure, as we have, well, we're supposed to have Pedro Bufato giving out the trophies today. Maybe he will appear here at some point.
There he is.
There he is. And also you'll see Nelson Piquet. He's going to hand over the trophy to what is considered his godson. Refers to him as his godson. A great day for Piquet. He wins the PPR. Moro wins the Formula 3.
What a day has it's been for these two.
There you see the former Formula 1 world champion and Juliano Moro. They have Formula 1 champions in his future.
In tears, and of course a 3rd place finish for Marcelo Ventre. So the number 0 car, number 1 car, number 3 car in the podium. Excellent. Javier Nasser celebrating the win as well. He also raced in 50 Formula 3 races as a driver, and he's done quite well as an owner. What a surprise for him.
Good result for the Honda Dallara, pretty much getting all the victories so far this year.
Well, join us next year. We'll be in March, about ready to start another exciting Formula 3 season. For Guy Hobbs, this is Alvaro Martin.